Hi everybody. Well, welcome back. Black Friday Attacks, Part 8. We got stuff here. Lots and lots of stuff. And if that weren't bad enough, we got more stuff. So, this is almost the last remnants of my Black Friday purchases. That stuff came after. I took advantage of Kino Lorber's current and rather large going out of print sale. Yeah, and got a couple Amazon packages as well that have trickled in. That's one or two more unboxing videos in itself. This, having a general idea of how many titles are in this, plus here, we're probably looking at another two-parter on this itself. So, parts 8, parts 9, those are their own separate non-Black Friday thing. So, let's just dive into things now, shall we? Okay. Now, the Kino thing was interesting because my Winter Wonderland purchase, which started around Black Friday, and the going out of print sale, which came, I think, a few days or so after, I believe, that I maybe 2 days or so after I placed this order. I got shipment notifications last Saturday and Sunday. So today's the 22nd, so we go like what, the 14th and the 15th, I think that would have been Saturday and Sunday, saying, hey, they're shipped, here's your tracking number. So this whole week, today being Sunday, I've been expecting one or more to come in. I started checking the tracking numbers, and every day that I checked, it kept saying, hey, we've received the tracking number from the shipper, we're awaiting the product to ship. I'm like, okay, well, yesterday was Saturday, and I'm like, it's a week now since I got my first notification, and you haven't even shipped it yet. I got the notification, but, well, 6:57 in the morning, I open my door, there's a package out front, which is what time it was delivered. I think I opened my door a couple minutes after 7, but didn't hear the USPS come in or whatever. They set it down and off they went. There was no updated shipping tracking whatsoever. So that was interesting in itself. And then, of course, the same day, just later, I checked my tracking on the other package. And sure enough, it's going to come today as well. I'm like, all right, we go from not shipped at all to arriving at your door. So, wow. All right. Let's start with Kino. Go through that. The good news, I guess, if you want to call it that, after pulling out my packing material, is that this box, as big as it is only half full. But there's a lot in that half. And I have only an idea about what half of it is because the way they put these titles in here, some are right side up, spine up, some are down, so I can't see everything that's there. I know it's going to be a mix of Blu-ray and 4K. I guess we just go through it random, right? And see what we have to look at here. These might all, or at the very least, vast majority of, are going to be blind buys. It's just the way I roll with Kino. I take advantage of these sales to get new stuff I've never seen before at a really great price. And Sugar has just jumped into my Kino box. You're a silly girl. So this here is an old pirate movie. Now, why did I get this one? I'm not seeing why. Because this doesn't appear to be the title I thought it was going to be. So, I can't tell you why I bought this one, which I can almost always answer that question right from the beginning. There's some kind of draw, and I am not seeing what it is in this case. But it's a 1951 in color pirate movie called Double Crossbones, starring Donald O'Connor, whom I've never heard of. And at least off the top of my head, I think I was confusing this one with another purchase I made in one of these sales. I'm hoping it wasn't a misship. That's never happened before. Let's take a look at my packing list and see if that's on there. It is. So I guess I'm going to have to revisit their website and see the deal behind that one, because that's a little confusing to me. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. This next one, also Blind Buy, black and white, 1951. Is that the same year? Yeah, it is. So we got a color and a 1951 black and white. I know why I got this one. 2 reasons. 1, Bob Hope. I have never owned or watched a Bob Hope movie before. This will be my first. Reason number 2, Hedy Lamarr. I have never watched or seen a Hedy Lamarr movie, but this is an absolutely stunningly beautiful woman. Very intelligent. Helped invent at least the concept for Wi-Fi, believe it or not. Or was it Bluetooth? I think it was Wi-Fi, but one of the two. Anyway, this movie is called My Favorite Spy. I'm going to assume it's a comedy. I don't know for sure. To be determined. So, yeah. Next up. Here, by default, or coincidence, whatever, is the movie that I was actually confusing the one I just pulled out with. Strange, strange, strange. Or as that stupid girl would say, weird, weird. Screw you, Snow White. So, another pirate flick. This one's 1950 in color. And I got this one because it stars the lovely Yvonne DiCarlo, most popularly known for playing Mrs. Lillian Munster in The Munsters. But this one is Buccaneers Girl. And I thought, which is probably why I got the other one with this, that getting into some swashbuckling old school pirate films might be fun. Next up will be some Errol Flynn and some, man, I can never remember the man's name. Let's see. Douglas Fairbanks. This is a previous purchase, but Douglas Fairbanks was a swashbuckler from the silent era. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go old school with some of this stuff. Some Errol Flynn, some Douglas Fairbanks. Let's explore it and pick up some other related titles. Clint Eastwood. Next up, 1971, Blu-ray, Blind Buy. We have, with slipcover, interesting artwork. The Beguiled. I kind of like that. That's some unique artwork there. I appreciate that. Produced and directed by Donald Siegel. It's the back. I know nothing about this title, other than that's blurry. There we go. Don't know if this is a costume design. Leads me to believe this is a period piece, but I guess we'll see. Ever-expanding Clint Eastwood library. Next up, we have... This is interesting. I was not aware that Kino Lorber did releases from, I don't know, this says Raro Cinema Art Visions. I don't know if that's a studio or whatever, because they got the Kino Lorber branding on the back here. But this is a Western from 1968, Italian, so spaghetti, starring Elsa Martinelli, which I do not know who she is. But I think this one appealed to me by being a female-led Western, and see what the Italians can do with that. But this is the Belle Star story, Lena Wertmuller and Piero Cristofani. That's interesting. I've never... See, there's a reason why. Hi, kitty. There's a reason why I like Kino Lorber spines. And this is not an example of that. So, yeah, that's going to be an oddball on my collection. Kind of like how the Kino Classics and the Kino Cult lines are. They lack the consistency of Kino's mainline titles that I so love. And that is sad, but, you know, it is what it is, right? You can't have consistency in all things. Next blind buy, I bought this one. It's a movie starring Jeffrey Hunter. Jeffrey Hunter is, in my opinion, best known for playing Captain Christopher Pike in the original and originally unaired pilot for Star Trek, the series, original series. And I had never seen him in anything else, so I figured, you know what, why not? It's cheap price. As always in these sales, no man is an island. That may or may not be true. I have never met an island man. I have met plenty of men who are not islands. So far, it's a solid track record. But I know nothing. There's some films from 1962, so pre-Star Trek for him. But never saw him in anything else, so I figured, hey, why not? That sounds like something to explore, check out. Next, we have Blu-ray Blind Buy. Hitchcock, my friends, Hitchcock. Love collecting Hitchcock. 1949 in color, starring Ingrid Bergman, Joseph Cotton, and Michael Wilding. Well, I know one of those names, but we have Under Capricorn. As with so many of these, I know absolutely nothing. They all have their little hook, whether it be genre, actor, director, or something, some kind of draw to get me to pay attention and pull the trigger. Hitchcock will do it for me every time. Mr. Capper here, he is well on his way. Speaking of which, another Blu-ray blind buy from 1929, black and white, obviously. Now, the question is, for 1929, as opposed to the other one, which was 1949, is this going to turn out to be a silent film? It says here in the special features, the silent version. I wonder if this will be curious, if there's actually two different versions of this film on here, a talkie and a silent. I'm not gonna, yes I am, I'm gonna read this and find out. Okay, so this was Hitchcock's first full-length sound film and was only his second foray into the suspense genre. So, if I'm reading this correctly, this is a talkie, but the special features might actually have a silent version of this film. Let's end the suspense. Starring Annie Andra, Sarah Allgood, and John Longden, we have Blackmail. Always interesting when they colorize the front cover art, the poster or whatever, for a film that remains black and white. How do you guys feel about that? I have really mixed feelings because I feel it's misrepresentative of what you're actually getting as far as the movie goes. I would almost prefer actual artwork in color for a black and white film than a colorized either theatrical poster or just general photographic image. I don't really dig that at all. I don't like the representation. You know, same thing here with this one. Here, right, My Favorite Spy. You know, that's photographic. That's not artwork. I mean, most of it, but hey, black and white film. You know, so it just, I like consistency. I keep coming back to that. Hey, this might be my only non-blind buy in this. We'll see when it all comes to be. But I saw this once, and I saw this as a kid. This came out in '89, so Probably as a young teenager, I would have watched this one. And 94 minutes, starring John Travolta and is anybody else I know? Oh, Kelly Preston. I'm assuming this is probably the film that they met in before they got married. Let's see. This is called The Experts. I remember this movie being fun in the sense that it's, if I recall correctly, the story of the Soviets. Well, at this point, the Berlin Wall is just falling, so Soviets, Russians, whatever, attempting through some kind of psychological warfare or spy something or other to train operatives for foreign infiltration, create a false U.S. suburban small town, and to train the Russian operatives in what it's like to be and to live like Americans. They solicit two Americans to come in inadvertently and be like consultants almost, in a sense. At least that's what I recall from the movie. But I do remember it being funny, so that'll be a fun rewatch, I think. Next up, Blind Buy. Blu-ray. Well, this is unusual. I'm wondering if this is an older Blu-ray release, because this obviously is Kino, but it's not a specific Kino line, but it's not a traditional Kino artwork insert. But we star Sam Shepard, Kim Basinger, Randy Quaid, and Harry Dean Stanton from 1985. We have Fool for Love. I love Kim Basinger. This is interesting. Is that I don't see any indicator, and if you look here, this is a spine. This looks like the spine you see for a film from any random studio, complete with character artwork, title, more artwork, studio depictions here. You got MGM Blu-ray logo. That is odd. It's not a cult, Kino cult. It's not a Kino classic. Not a whatever this other one was. This Western here. This Raro. That's not one of those. So it's just going to be an odd man out. And I don't like odd man out. No. Hey, this is something I do like. Blu-ray, Blind Buy, black and white, 1931. More Alfred Hitchcock, ladies and gentlemen. We have Rich and Strange. I wanted to say famous, but I'm like, that doesn't spell famous. Beautiful, simplistic, consistent spine art. Thank you. And there we go. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, focus. No, not bouncy, focus. I really wish I knew why my camera is having so many issues with that lately. It didn't used to be that way. My iPhone's less than a year old too, which is disappointing. But yeah, know nothing about this one at all. Always up for a blind buy of Mr. Hitchcock. Next up, another blind buy, another period piece. This one in itself is almost interesting because, let's see, I believe it was based on a novel or a play. Let's see, this is from 1977, color, starring Oliver Reed, Raquel Welch, Mark Lester, Ernest Borgnine, George C. Scott, Rex Harrison, David Hemmings, and Charlton Heston. So what a cast. This one's called Crossed Swords. Lovely Raquel, lovely spine. This, I remember from the synopsis on their website, I could have swore it mentioned that this is an adaptation of a novel or play. I just can't remember which one. Here we go. Cross Swords is a dazzling action film adapted from Mark Twain's classic The Prince and the Pauper. So, yeah. Maybe some potential swashbuckling. Hopefully, great cast. I said, yes, please. Next up. Here we go again. From 1954, in color, another classic Western. I know why I got this one. This one also stars Yvonne DiCarlo, also starring Joel McCrea, whom I've never heard of before. This is a title called Border River. I wanted to see Mrs. Munster, the lovely Yvonne DiCarlo, in something other than the Munsters and see what kind of range she has as an actress. She certainly is a lovely woman when I can get things to focus properly. And it's just not wanting to. That's a little better. Yeah. So, where's my Yvonne DiCarlo stack? Not that I really have one. Okay. This is going to be the last of them for this episode. We're long, and this takes us to the halfway point. And I'm blurry. You're far. You're far. Remember that from Old Sesame Street. Grover. Near, far. Near, far. I'm losing it. Okay. 1953. Color. Blu-ray. Blind Buy. James Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. Enough said. I'm always up for some Jimmy. Joanne Drew, Gilbert Rowland, Dan Duria. Never heard of any of them. This was... I want to say this was actually part of the previous going out of print sale. And it coincided with the Winter Wonderland sale, so I made those purchases at the same time, just grouped them together. But this one is 1953. It is called Thunder Bay. Focus on the Bay of Thunder. There we go. Lovely spine. Lovely lady. Lovely Jimmy. And there we have it. So, yeah, always enjoy Jimmy Stewart. He's a solid in my book for anything I'll watch with him in it. So we're ending things right there. We're ending things blurrily. So I think that was a total of 14 titles. And yeah, so we're halfway through that box. And that's where we stop. So thank you for joining me on this. Did you have any thoughts, opinions, anything on my purchase so far here? With your Black Friday purchases of your own, have you seen anything that I've watched? Have opinions on them? Please, do the thing. So yeah, we're closing it up. Thank you for joining me. See you next video. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.